Good morning, guys. Jaron back with another crafting video for you today. And it was brought to my attention that the 2-hour timed sequential missions are now available for most worlds because it requires development log 14, and I'm pretty sure almost all of the worlds should have that unlocked by now. So it was asked of me if I had a rotation to macro the 3 missions for the 2-hour timed sequential missions, and I do actually. I came up with this a little while ago, probably maybe last week when we unlocked 14 here on my server, development log 14, and it's pretty interesting. It's not too bad actually. These macros are 100% guaranteed. They don't require any manual touches like some of the weather videos that I posted a while back. So these are actually pretty good missions to do if you want to farm cosmic class points and even the Phaenna tokens. The first mission is not worth too much. The first mission I think is only worth 140 class points, but the second mission is worth 800, and the third mission in the sequence is worth over 2300. And you get over 200 Phaenna tokens as well. And what's interesting about this is if you start the process right when the 2-hour window opens. Let's say we're working on, let me look at my notes here real quick. For leather worker, the 2-hour timed window opens up at 4 p.m. So from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. is when the window is open. What's nice about this is if you start it right when the 2-hour window opens, it takes 1 hour and 50 minutes to run through all 3 missions. So what's interesting is if you're quick enough with your macros and you're quick enough when you start the missions, you can actually do this twice in each 2-hour window. You can do the whole sequence twice because you don't have to finish the missions within the 2-hour window. You only need to start them within the 2-hour window. So you can actually double up on your points here, and instead of just getting somewhere around 3,200 class points for the 2-hour window, you can get 6,400, which is really nice. So the game time right now is 3:46 p.m. so we're good. We will work on my leather worker. Let me make sure I'm on it. Yep. And first thing I want to do is show you my melds. Of course, I'm using the fully upgraded Stellar tool for obvious reasons. And as I described in previous videos, my gear is melded with all control and CP. I don't follow any online guides or anything like that. I just meld the way that I like to meld, and this is what works for me. So you can look at my stats there, my CP and my craftsmanship, my control, and we'll go through the melds here very briefly. My rings are identical, and my bracelet, necklace, and earring are all identical to each other as well, and my offhand tool. So I'm not going to do it twice because for purposes of describing the video, we're only going to do it once this window. But I'll show you the rotations that I came up with. Now the first mission in the sequence is just a 1 button. It's actually very simple. Actually, the first and the second mission, you don't need any food or tea. They're actually really, really easy. The third mission you do. The third mission you need food and tea, so I just go ahead and pop it at the beginning of the whole sequence anyway, just so I don't forget. So this is the macro for the first mission, and then the macro for the second mission in the sequence is right here, right underneath it. That's the first part, and that is the second part. And the third mission in the sequence is right here. That's the first macro. Now you'll see I put the duty action here, and I described in a previous video, I think it was for the weather mission, why I do this. And this is what uses Material Miracle. And I don't want to risk getting a poor status on Baragot's Blessing. So by using the Material Miracle, it eliminates excellent, which in turn eliminates the possibility for poor. So I found a nice spot within my rotation that I was building to put that duty action right here. And it should last roughly all the way to the end of the rotation. I think maybe the very last action doesn't include it, but that's okay. That's all right. We won't need it by that point anyway. So this is the first part, and then this is the second part, and a very small third part here right at the end. Now these are specialist rotations. You will need your soul crystal and your crafter's delineation, so please don't forget those. And let me just turn off that cosmic exploration info. I don't need that right now. And the food I'll be using is the Ali Pebre, of course, CP and control. And as always, the Cunning Craftsman Tisane, which caps our CP up at 798. And I am in the window for the 2-hour mission for Leatherworker. So Habitation Improvement Plan 1. Let's go ahead and initiate that. And I think we need to make 2 of these. So we'll run through the macro real quick. Very simple. Start with a Reflect, Veneration, and then a Groundwork. And then 4 Delicate Synth. And we'll Immaculate Mend it. And then an Innovation with 2 Preparatory Touches. And then Great Strides and Baragot's Blessing. And finish it with the Groundwork. Again, you can see we have 300 and almost 350 CP left over. You don't need food and tea for this macro, but I used it anyway just so I don't forget it when we get to mission number 3. Alright, Groundwork. And then 4 Delicate Synth. Immaculate Mend. Innovation and 2 Preparatory Touches. Great Strides and Baragots. And then finish it with the Groundwork. Okay, that's a very simple mission. That one we don't get many rewards for that at all, but it starts the sequence, and that's what we're looking for. So now here's mission number 2, and this one will give us 800 class points, which is nice. We'll go ahead and execute this one. We'll start with a Muscle Memory this time. Waste Not 2. Then a Groundwork, an Innovation, and 4 Preparatory Touches. Okay, Immaculate Mend. Now we're going to do another Preparatory Touch. Now we're going to use Innovation, Great Strides for another Preparatory Touch. And then Great Strides and Baragot's Blessing. Then a Groundwork to finish it. And that's mission number 2. And that one was a little bit better. Let's see. Yeah, we got 800 class points, which is nice. Got some credits here. But 800 class points is really nice. Now, here comes mission number 3. And this is the one where we need food and tea for. And a lot of people think this can't be macroed because the durability is only set to 25 durability, which is extremely low. But let's go ahead and look at the rotation real quick. Let's talk about that particular rotation real quick. We're going to start with a reflect, and then open up with a manipulation, and then we're going to use two buffs. We're going to use innovation and veneration. And innovation is because we're going to use 3 delicate synth, so we want to get the bonus to the touch part of delicate synthesis with innovation, and then veneration as well because we also want to get the progress boost to delicate synthesis, and we're going to use a prudent synth as well to finish out that last stack of veneration. So it's really going to boost all 4 of those synthesis abilities. And then we're going to use an innovation, and then a delicate and a prudent touch. And from that point, we're going to use our duty action, Material Miracle, because we don't want to risk any poor statuses on our touches from this point forward. And we'll go with manipulation and then a trained perfection. With our buffs, Grace Strides Innovation for a big preparatory touch. And then with the remaining 3 stacks of innovation, we're going to use a basic standard advanced touch combo. And then we're going to use innovation for 4 attempts of trained finesse, which is going to use all 4 stacks of innovation there. And then we're going to use Great Strides, Innovation, and Baragot's Blessing to finish out the to finish out the quality portion of the craft. And then to finish out the progress, we're going to use Veneration with a Heart and Soul and a big intensive synthesis. So that was a little discussion about the rotation, and here it is in action. Here we go. Reflect. We're going to use manipulation, and then innovation and veneration for 3 delicate synth and a prudent synth. Not a prudent touch, a prudent synth. Make sure you guys notice that. Alright, innovation again for a delicate synth and then a prudent touch. Now we're going to use our Material Miracle, pop manipulation, train perfection. Now we're going to be using some buffs, which is going to give us back our durability because we have manipulation up. Grace Strides, Innovation, and Preparatory Touch is even going to give us our full durability back. And then the basic standard advanced touch combo. Innovation. And now 4 train finesse. Grace Strides, quick innovation, and Baragot's Blessing. And now we're going to use Veneration with a Heart and Soul and a big intensive synthesis, which should finish out our craft. There you go. We need 2 of these, so let's run it back. Reflect, manipulation, innovation, and veneration. 3 delicate synth and a prudent synth. Innovation, again, for another delicate synth, and now a prudent touch. We're going to use Material Miracle, manipulation, and now with our buffs, train perfection, Great Strides, Innovation. We're getting our durability back because of manipulation. There's Preparatory Touch. Now a basic standard advanced touch combo. Innovation again for 4 stacks of train finesse. Grace Strides, quick innovation, and Baragot's Blessing to finish it out. And now to complete the craft, put up Veneration, and then Heart and Soul with a big intensive synthesis. And there we go. You can see we got 225 Phaenna tokens, which is pretty good. We got 2,315 cosmic class points on Leather Worker, which is really nice. And it's not too difficult. And what's nice about this is, like I said at the beginning, if you start this right at the top of the 2-hour window and you stay focused and you keep using your macros as quickly as you can to get through all 3 missions, by the time you're done with the 3rd mission, you still should have about 10 minutes of game time left within that window to start the whole sequence over again. So you can actually do this twice for each 2-hour window, which is really nice. You can see it didn't take much time at all. You can get over 6,000 class points in just a few minutes using this method. So if you guys haven't checked it out, I have a video out there showing how to macro the weather missions here in Phaenna. I also have another video showing how to macro the 4-hour timed missions. It's just a single mission in the 4-hour timed window, but you can do it multiple times as well. So if you work on the weather missions, and then the 4-hour timed mission, and then the 2-hour sequential timed mission, you add that up between 3 different specialists that you have, and you'll always have something to craft. There'll always be something open for you, whether it's a weather mission or a timed mission. You won't have much downtime at all, and you can just have fun, relax, craft, get some Phaenna tokens, get some class points. And I haven't been grinding away too much, but you can see I'm working on it a little bit. I've got 4 golds so far, which is not too bad. Some people burn this like the first week, which is just crazy to me. I just kind of enjoy it with, on the weekend in the morning, get a cup of coffee, come up to Phaenna and do a little bit of crafting and just have fun. Put a movie on in the background and just relax and farm some points. So I hope this helped. I hope this video helped, excuse me. And if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave it in the video. And if you did enjoy it, give it a like. And happy crafting, guys. I'll talk to you next time. Have a good day.